That is the biggest domino I've ever seen. That's funny.
Yeah.
Hey everybody, welcome back. We are in
New Mexico.
So I drove down here last night, or well, all day yesterday, because we're gonna go pick up a car. I don't want to say what the car is quite just yet. I'm assuming you guys can all guess that what brand it is.
Yeah.
You can see over there, there is our Tenza Motorsports 7 Series. That is still a work in progress. Now, I don't want to be one of those channels where we just go from one car to the next without finishing anything. One thing that I am doing today is dropping off the death cart. So as you can see it in there in the trailer, I brought this down. We're gonna be unloading this, leaving it here in New Mexico, and then grabbing the new car and taking it back up to Idaho. So, the death cart, what is left on the death cart, and are we gonna be finishing it?
Yes, we are definitely gonna be finishing it. We need to put a cage in it. We need to do seats. We need to do, of course, along with seats will be proper 5-point harnesses.
Right.
And we're kind of going to try to set it up to be a sort of a camera car, so that it'll be a fun toy, but at the same time, the way we're going to build the roll cage is such that we can put camera rigs, like serious camera rigs, on it for, you know, some better moving scenes. Because I think that by now you've seen our road trip and how, you know, we had some footage from that, but we had a ton of footage that was just too shaky, too blurry, too, you know, vomit-inducing to use. Through no fault of our cameraman or the quality of our equipment, but that we didn't have any image stabilization stuff. And when we're doing that kind of driving, you need it.
So we're thinking that we'll build some sort of, like he was saying, a rig on the back, or, you know, something that swings around a little bit, so we can take it to the track, and then if we want to, we can just slip in this mounting system and then put cameras on it, and then we can get really cool driving shots of the cars, a little bit more professional style. So there's really only 2 or 3 projects left on the death cart when it comes to the build, mainly hacking off the rest of the car and then doing a cage. That's the majority of what's left, and then some seats, maybe some sticky tires, maybe some cheap suspension. So we're not completely giving up on the 36, but we do have a massive, huge, major project coming up.
Overwhelming project.
Yeah, it's a little bit stressful already, and we haven't even gotten the cars yet.
We haven't even really spent any money on it yet, and it's already been stressful.
Yeah, so you'll see all of that today. We'll be introducing the entire project, even though we've only got half of what we need today.
Yeah.
And we'll go from there. We had our diesel expert come over to the house this morning while I was sleeping, because I came in super late last night, and I was having some overheating issues yesterday, so we were trying to figure out what exactly was going on. We're thinking something with the torque converter not locking when you're in overdrive. And so basically yesterday I was just having to drive really slow. I guess really slow. I was driving about 10 miles an hour under the speed limit most of the time. So anywhere between 60 to 70 miles an hour, depending on what road I was on. Other than that, it tows really, really well. It hardly knows the trailers back there. The tow mirrors that we bought that I was a little bit worried about shaking and stuff like that, because we mentioned it in a previous video, those have been fantastic. And if they shake, I can't imagine they shake any more or less than the actual OEM Mopar. I'm very happy with the mirrors. So I'll put a link to that video actually right here. So if you are curious to know about some Dodge tow mirrors. So where are we headed to exactly?
Right at this exact moment, we're getting gas or diesel.
And then we're gonna grab some power steering fluid.
Yep, because we have a power steering leak in the brake booster.
And then we are going to Tulsa,
Oklahoma,
which is where the new vehicle is.
And
I'm not gonna put any teasers on the thumbnail. Maybe. No, I'm not gonna do any teasers in the thumbnail or the beginning or anything. If you think you can guess what it is, go and guess right now in the comments. And I guess 10 minutes into the video. I don't know how long this is gonna take. I guess you'll see if you're right or not. All day yesterday, basically, all day today. Tulsa's very hot and humid. There's lots of bugs.
And it's hot and humid.
Yep, and it's hot and humid. We were gonna record when we got the car and loaded it up, but it was dark by the time we got here, and
there were no lights at
there were
no
no street lights. So we're here at the hotel, and so I guess now would probably be the best time to show off what we got. Isn't she a beauty? David, you want to give us a quick rundown of what's going on, why it looks worse than it actually is?
So the previous owner, cool guy, was having some fun, doing some stuff, and the car got a little out of his control, and he put it into a curb and messed up the bumper a little bit, and broke the wheel. The wheel, of course, that he broke is not there. That's a different wheel. And then he fixed that. He fixed some other stuff that was apparently damaged at the time and kept driving it. And he said it was a couple of weeks. A couple of weeks later, he was driving down the road, and the shock tower punched through the hood. And apparently that was kind of the last straw, and he decided he was done and didn't want to fix it anymore. And we found it, and we negotiated, and we came and we got.
So the wheels that are on it are kind of like they're more of like a CSL replica, so they're not actual BMW wheels. He does have, and gave us, the 3 normal stock wheels. One of them's broken, obviously, so that's gone.
Yeah, it's completely gone.
So he didn't have the wheel that he broke. The reason the bumper's off is because it was already mostly off, and so we just kind of pulled it off the rest of the way, so we didn't have to fight it coming up the ramp into the trailer. So it came in real easy. The other reason why this car is a little bit cheaper is because the clutch was starting to slip on it.
Clutch was starting to slip.
So we've been looking on Copart for a car, an M3 like this, because we were trying to find one that's wrecked. I guess we haven't told them what we're doing with it yet.
We haven't told them at all.
So we'll get to that in just a second once we finish with this car. So we've been trying to find one that's been wrecked in the back that had decent mileage and maybe a good interior, preferably a coupe, so we can steal some more parts off of, like, I wanted the mirrors for my car, which I'm assuming we'll figure something out with this thing. But we found this car for around the same price they were selling for used on Copart, or sorry, wrecked on Copart. And the reason for that is the engines are worth quite a bit of money. And so by the time you start to part them out, if you spend $5 or $6 grand on one of these, it's pretty easy to get that money back and make some.
Yeah.
Without too much problem.
But for the project that we're doing, we need the engine and the transmission, the clutch, and the rear differential, which means we need the rear subframe and the wheels and the hood and the fenders. So we need more than just the engine. So if we were to buy all those parts on eBay, then we'd be in it more than we could get a wrecked car for.
Right, exactly. And so that's why we were gonna buy a wrecked car and then cannibalize it. So here is the main the actual project that this is going towards. We are making an E46 wagon M3.
Yes, the infamous, there was only one ever made. Yep, a M3 Touring E46 style. And now we have a 2002 M3 that has some damage that makes it essentially undrivable, and some deeper mechanical damage that we're going to tear it all apart, and we're going to take all those M parts, refresh them, refurbish them, and put them back on a wagon.
Yep. So, and then we're still deciding what to do about the front fascia of the wagon, like whether to do like a full M3 on the front, because we're actually been contracted to do this for somebody else. So,
and they're giving us pretty much blank check, literally.
Yeah, they trust what we're doing, and they said go ahead and here's some money and make me an M3 wagon. So. I think their request was mostly S54 wagon.
Yeah.
And we're like, well, we can buy a whole M3 for about what the engines go for, a little bit more, and then we can steal the wheels and the brakes and the subframe and the rear diff, the transmission. Make sure it's got a transmission with it, because oftentimes the wagons are automatics. So it was much better to go this route. So this is actually my first M3.
Mine as well.
His first M3, not his first M car. He's owned a M5.
I had an M5, E39 M5.
Yep. So it's not his first M car, but it is definitely my first one. And then we're going to quickly pull it apart. And I guess it's not technically ours, but
yeah. Well,
when we're done with it, the guy who wants the wagon done is not going to want what's left of the M3. So that's kind of up to us what we decide to do with the chassis
the body,
of the car.
yeah.
What's left of it.
And we were originally thinking we were going to have a salvage title M3, but this one turns out, because this was not reported through insurance, it is a clean title.
Right, and I'm pretty sure if this was reported, it would have been totaled. It would have been totaled. Yeah, between the front bumper,
I mean,
maybe the fender, the hood, the strut, repainting. I don't know, man. If it didn't total it, it'd be real dang close, and
yeah,
it would at least have something on its record for sure.
Yeah.
So we're just super happy to get this car. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, and the previous owner was super cool guy.
Yeah, great guy. He was really nice, very accommodating. We showed up really late.
Yeah, we expected to get here at like 8 o'clock in the afternoon. We didn't get till 10.
Yeah, so he said no big deal. So we came and picked up the car. So the car comes with 3 stock wheels. We're missing 1 front wheel. So we're gonna be looking for one of those. Maybe depends on what we're doing with the ones that are on it right now, because the ones that are on it right now are reps. Bumper's in okay condition. I'm thinking we can fix this, and that's really it. There's paint cracking and stuff like that, but we're gonna be sanding it all down. That's just a reflector that's missing. So we're thinking we can clean this up and we'll do something. We think we can salvage that pretty easy. Fender, I believe there's a little bit of a dent there, and then there's another one in the back. They're pretty small, as you can see here. You can just barely see that one, maybe. I don't even know if the camera will be able to pick that up. But a couple small dents. Hood, we're thinking we can actually fix that. Us personally won't be able to fix it because I've never done any aluminum working, but
worst case scenario, we screw it up and have to get another one anyway. So
right,
it's worth trying to fix it. So
yeah, I agree, because M3 hoods, actual aluminum BMW M3 hoods, $1,000, $1,500. I'm not sure exact. I'm sure if you got a brand new one from an OEM,
I don't know.
Yeah, it'd be really expensive. So we are gonna try to drive the car a little bit.
I would personally actually like to try to fix it first. If we think it's not gonna be too expensive to fix it first, actually drive it, see how good the car is, and then make our decision what direction we go. Even though we're replacing the suspension on the car. Because the reason I say that is because if we fix this car as is, we fix a bunch of stuff and know it's working the correct way before we put it on the wagon and don't know. Because remember how we've talked about you change something on a race car and then you just don't know if that's correct or not because you've changed something. We know what an M3 is supposed to do, so if we fix it and it's doing what it's supposed to do, then we know the parts are good, and then we can take them off and put them on the wagon.
Basically, we're not guessing.
Yeah, we're not guessing because we're going back to where it's supposed to be before we put everything. So we fix it on the M3 and then we move it to the wagon instead of putting it on the wagon and going, is it supposed to be like that? I don't know.
Right, exactly.
So, but we'll see how that goes. We've got plenty of time to discuss what we're going to do there.
So enough talking. I think tomorrow we'll probably unload it out of the trailer. We're just super tired tonight. I'm hungry.
Plus, if it's gonna break, I want it to break in the daytime, not in the nighttime.
Yeah, even though it's gonna be hot tomorrow. I don't know. We're probably gonna pull it out of the trailer tomorrow in the parking lot or something like that, and go around the car and get some footage, because I think by the time we hit back to your place, it's gonna be dark again. So we want to show off the car and start it up and all that fun stuff, but we're just so tired tonight that we're probably gonna call it quits. And
I'm getting eaten by bugs.
Oh, I was gonna say, what time is it? I thought you were looking at your watch.
So it's local, 11:30.
So it's 12:30. So it's not super late, but we've been driving all day, and I drove all day yesterday and today.
It's tomorrow.
Whatever, same thing. I'm tired.
Exactly. It is today. So this morning we're gonna take it out of the trailer.
Yeah.
Once the sun comes up.
We're in a pretty decent hotel, so we got some continental breakfast coming. So.
And I'm gonna be eating a lot of that continental breakfast.
We will see everybody tomorrow.